the beauty of these automations is the volume that it can handle is basically unlimited. Where you can put 1 million leads through there, it doesn't matter. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Your database size doesn't matter.
Welcome back, everyone. I've got Adam Frank. You know Adam. He's a good friend of Chime's, a good friend overall. I got to meet him for the first time at EXPCon. I didn't realize that I hadn't met him in person. And I was like, no way. So that was nice, Adam.
Yeah, it was good. I was like, as soon as I saw you were like tag yourself in Vegas, I'm like, whoa, you're here? But yeah, because we've been doing these almost 2 years now. And that's how I met you. I mean, I've seen you in lab code agents, of course, and stuff like that, but that's how we got to know each other a little bit more here. And it was finally like, okay, like that's on my bucket list, right? Like, I got to meet him. Like
that was awesome, dude. Thanks for coming up. And it was great meeting you.
You bet. That was
today we're going to be talking about smart plans. No, we're not going to be talking about the grass that doesn't grow behind Adam there because he's in Wisconsin.
Just remember, watching grass grow takes a long time.
That's right. Is that the barbecue method that's happening behind you? It's really slow.
Possibly. It's my new business adventure is grass growing. It's taken a couple of years to make it happen.
I love it, dude. All right, well, let's get right into this smart plans. I think they're becoming even more important because what we're seeing is in some areas, we've already headed into a harder, more challenging market, and nurturing is becoming even more important for online leads, for leads in general, past clients in your sphere. How do you suggest that we take on this nurturing through smart plans? That's where I want to start, unless you had a different angle on this.
So I wanted to cover 3 things. I got my notes here. Basically, what actions can be done in a smart plan? How can we use these actions to get responses? And then what content can we send using these actions? So this is almost like a basic thing of just kind of like a refresher on how do we convert leads? Like when people ask me about Chime, like what's different? Well, there's a whole bunch of different things, but one thing that stands out to me, the follow-up in Chime is what really pushed me over the edge to join them. Was it a little over 3 years now? Just about every other CRM provider in the real estate space focuses and advertises on their lead generation capabilities. There's only one in the real estate space that focuses on converting leads, and that is Chime. They call themselves a sales acceleration platform. It's not lead generation. That's closing things. That's setting appointments. That's getting you from, you've got a lead, now what do you do with it? And Chime has a lot of tools built into the smart plan system in various hierarchy of activities and actions that we can do that in other systems, you have to have third-party stuff going on, which is fine to an extent. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty fluent in Zapier. I love staying up late making automations, but at the core, as much as we can do in Chime is going to be the best benefit, not only for our sanity, but that consistency, that reliability that Chime is known for. So using the smart plans to do everything that we can do in the system first, and then as a last resort, if we have to reach out to a third party, then we need to do that, right? Whatever's best for the client that moves the needle in our business, that harmony that you always speak of, that's what Chime is about. And that's how we are empowered by agents using technology like Chime to do that with Chime. So that's kind of my whole thing there. So,
I love that, dude. All right, so where do we start with this? So we're looking at Chime on the back end.
Yeah, so I'm going to show my screen here. And so this is going to be, for people kind of following along here, this is going to be up in the campaigns area. If you see icons up here, it's going to be that little paper airplane icon. This is going to be the new, I'm in the beta group or whatever, so like 30% of the people are going to see this new layout here. We're going to have words instead of icons, but we're going to be in campaigns and then over on smart plans. You've got the My Smart Plans, which are basically I call them agent smart plans that only apply to that agent seat, not anybody else. Team Smart Plans are for everybody in the platform. And then the library is the default Chime library. There's like 80 some odd smart plans in there. So this is where everything is housed. What we're talking about here is when we're creating a smart plan. So some of the recurring plans here, they're generally basically date-based, right? New Year, Christmas, Valentine's Day, specific date, to kind of cover everything else under the sun that, certain holidays, like Halloween is technically not a federally recognized holiday, so there's really no triggers for that, but you can do a specific date for that, right? So Chime, they give us a few defaults, but they also say, hey, you know what, we're going to let you customize your own thing because that's just what you need. Birthday, close date, this custom field option right here is, from my understanding, it's not like, it's just a placeholder right now. We're working slowly on the back end to make it so that when you add custom fields into your CRM on import or through the settings, those can be triggered as a smart plan. So it's not functional yet, from what I understand. It's just, it's coming in the future. I don't know when, but this one right here, right now, don't get excited, just keep it in the back burner. Most of what we're going to be doing is always the standard plan. Building it is super simple. I call this the top-down editing structure. So if anybody has ever made a Google form, it's pretty much the same thing. So you have your content here, you've got your little toolbar. If you want to add step 2, just click the plus. And now you've got a step 2 right here. Super simple. If you want to create this here and then create this here and say, well, you know what, actually, I like this email better than this email. The 3 lines over here, you can just drag and drop above and swap them out. So super easy to do, really, really nice. So basics, plan name, target lead type, you've got your options here. Application conditions, these you could basically have, newly created when they're reassigned to like another agent or a lender, if they're exhibiting certain behaviors up here, and then if they have certain conditions. So you can do anything from pipeline group, source tag, all that stuff. If you're using the evaluate service, you can use that as a trigger. You can include current people that this would apply to or exclude them. And there's strategies, that are nice. Sometimes if you already have an established database and you want to just make some changes, but leave the people on that plan and just modify it going forward, you can copy the smart plan and then say, you know what, I want to exclude current people, and that way it won't go retroactive. It'll just be this plan going forward from everybody new that's going to be that's going to fit that. The triggers here, if you have more than one selection, like if you have, let's say, no response and frigid, when it's options within a drop-down menu, that's an either or. So if they are either in the frigid or the no AI response pipeline, this is going to run. Once you start going into additional triggers or additional, like let's say we do these pipelines and we're going to say associate with any of these groups, and we're going to say book appointment and adjust alerts. Now that's a collection. So they have to be in either the frigid or the no AI response pipeline and be in either one of these groups. So when you cross drop downs, it's an addition. Within those drop downs, it's an either or. I hope that makes sense. So you can get really creative in here. So if you can be as simple as possible, you can be as intricate as possible. You can put, this here, I want a specific tag and a time frame to buy, and they're not with another agent and they haven't been talked with in 10 days and their evaluate score is 85 or above. You can really, really fine tune what you want to target in your database. The auto pause is pretty nice. When the lead reaches out with any of these conditions, you can either take no action, move to a pipeline group, or add a tag. And then based off that tag, you can also create an automation or use that tag to trigger something else. And then the pipeline changes, all that fun stuff. So the actions within here are going to be in this main drop-down menu. We have a little bit of timing stuff you can do immediately. You can wait a certain period of time, basically like that same day. You can set a time period, so basically waking hours, or you can do a specific time of day, which is nice. These are the options that you have in the system.
Adam, do you use on this little section, do you use Zapier or no?
I have played around with it just to test it out. but most of my zaps that I do are already set based on when a lead is created, or if there is a pipeline or group change in Chime, that triggers Zapier to take action to a third party.
Got it.
This you can. This is fun. I'll do, like, if enough people want to learn about this stuff, I will. We can do one down the road on creating webhooks with the Zapier in Chime and taking action like that. That can be pretty fun. But yeah, this gives you the versatility of, like, say when a new lead is created, I want to add them to my MailChimp newsletter thing, right? This zap here in a smart plan step, as opposed to just when a new lead is created kind of a thing. This gives you the ability to say, well, I'm going to have a smart plan, and 3 steps into it, I should probably get a response. So I'm going to wait until that happens and then add them to my newsletter. Or you can create a single step zap like this. You can do this here with the trigger and say, let's say that this trigger here is either like a responded group, responded pipeline, tag of responded, and then that trigger. So the people that actually respond to your smart plans will get tagged with whatever it is, responded. And then that tag is the trigger for this to start. And then you only add people to your MailChimp newsletter list if they respond to your smart plans in Chime. Like, that's one way that you can use that kind of stuff. But like I said, we'll deep dive into that if people want that.
Perfect.
So these have a lot of options in here, which is really nice. So the difference, you see auto email, auto text, you have email and text. The difference here is auto means it's just going to send it out automatically. Email and text, that's going to create a task that when you mark it off, that's when it's going to actually send the text. So it's like a semi-automatic. It kind of queues it up, and then you basically click the task to clear it, and that's what sends the text out. Me personally, I do everything automatic. That's the whole, like, I don't want to have to create a task. I'm very anti-task. You can create a call task. You can send a postcard or newsletter through the Chime system using the design center down here. The Zapier stuff we can change the pipeline, change a group, change a tag. I use these two quite a bit in my automation system so that I'm sorting leads based on activities, inactivities. If people have certain lead scores or evaluate scores, I'm using these to move people around based on the triggers. So you can use these and leverage these to automatically organize your database so that people that are raising their hand, they can go to the front of the line. People that are kicking tires and not responding, they can go to the back of the line, right? So you can prioritize and identify through behaviors in Chime these automations to basically do things for you that you don't have to do on your own. It's one of the huge things that I push for with Chime, and I'm glad that they have these because it makes life a lot more simple once you set these up properly and just kind of let it run.
Well, that's because when you set it up, you don't have to worry about it after it's done.
Exactly. And the beauty of these automations is the volume that it can handle is basically unlimited. Now you can set this up and run a lead a month through this automation, or you can put 1 million leads through there. It doesn't matter. As long as you've got the capacity in Chime with your email and text message stuff, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Your database size doesn't matter. Some people get sheepish when they have a smaller database just getting started, under 500 people or even 100 people kind of a thing. It doesn't matter. Like, Chime can handle whatever volume you want to bring it. So I know a lot of people that have like well into the 6 figures of database and beyond. So it's fine. Don't sweat it. The other thing you can do is start a smart plan. What this is fun with is we'll do like this here. So you can start a smart plan. You pick the smart plan name, which means when this one applies, it's going to automatically start. I like to use this at like the end of things. So when I have a long-term buyer and seller smart plan, for example, and then I have my barbecue setup package, which is my basically super long-term nurture. And this is what I'm using. I'm not using the actual triggers to start this smart plan for the barbecue cycle, I'm using this smart plan step here to do that. So when the long-term campaign ends, I'm saying start barbecue stage 1. That one runs, and at the end of stage 1, I'm saying, okay, now start stage 2. And then when 2 ends, it goes to 3. So I'm basically creating a cycle. Once 3 ends, it says start stage 1 again. And you can create a loop. So if you want to create like essentially like a recurring plan, this is a good workaround to use for that. If you want to basically just have the same thing and just keep running until they respond or unsubscribe kind of thing, use this start smart plan step to pick which one you want. And you can use it to alternate back and forth. Like Chime in the library, they have two long-term buyer plans, both around like 700 some days. So that was the original one that I was using, was long-term plan. Number 1 would start. When that ends, put them on number 2. When that ends, restart at number 1. So they're just basically going back and forth to 1 or 2, and you've got like 4 years of continuous nurturing for people that are
That's
just
good, dude. I like that.
So then, and it's super simple to do. So those are a lot of fun. The buyer property alert is also a favorite of mine. So when you click this here and you click the set criteria, this basically pops up. If you've done the engagements, this is exactly the same screen. So what this does, you can specify a specific, basically predetermined property alert, and then deliver that to leads based on certain triggers. So examples where you would or could use this. So let's say like buyer property alert. If you find that they don't have a property alert and they've been in your system for like 3 months because they just haven't really been on the website, you maybe did like a Facebook lead form to obtain the lead, you can set a generic property alert so that you're at least sending them something beyond emails. And because let's be real, like they didn't come to us for emails and text messages. They came to us for the property stuff and hoping that they can trust us to guide them through the stages of home buying and selling, right? So for buyers, one of the most valuable things is, well, what do they want to buy, right? They want to buy properties. They're not buying emails and communication. So give the communication in a way that is giving them what they want. They want properties that they can look at. One of the really cool things about this that I'm going to get into in a little bit is these conditional questions. I think these are some of the most underutilized things in the smart plan space. You can also create a checklist for the agent to do. So this is really good for like new lead intake, right? Like so immediately we're going to do a checklist. It's going to be buyer lead intake from say like an open house, right? Subtask. Did you call them? Did you double check to see if they have an agent? Did you ask them what you can do to help to make the process easier for them? Did you ask them for feedback on that if it was your listing, right? You can put those in here and that'll help you kind of gauge. Like, I love automation, but the best conversions, the easiest conversions are when you pepper in manual communication by having a reason to reach out to somebody, right?
What's your reason? What's the reasoning you use to reach out to them individually?
My standard is that I got a notification from my system that indicated you are blah, blah, blah. Right. So I'll look at the, like I'll go here into reporting and then the activities. I'll look in here and I'll see basically what's going on. So if people are looking at property, somebody, looked at a property 3 times, somebody saved a property, especially somebody that's doing a bunch of searches, right? That's a reason to reach out, right? So if Debbie's doing 5 searches in one day, I can reach out to her and say, I got a notification at from my website that you were doing a bunch of searches. I'm getting the sense that you may be frustrated with your home search. So what can I do, Debbie, to make it easier for you? Right. That's my reason for calling. I'm not saying, hey, I can help. One of the scripts that really makes me cringe is what I call the whiny toddler approach. Right. It's like that sad puppy eye toddler, like, well, when you're ready, just let me know, I can help. Nobody cares. Like, that's just, please don't do that anymore. That's not good. Have a reason, have the confidence to say, you're doing things. I'm the one to help you. How can I help make this easier? How can I help make this more accurate? How can I help you fulfill your needs? That is the purpose of why we're doing this. Is when a lead registers on our website, we have a duty to them to provide them the best customer service possible. We do that by having a reason to call, right? This is like warm calling. This is purposeful. This is actionable events with a purpose. Not just, hey, I got to make 200 calls today because that's what my broker says, or that's what my team leader says. I got to make 200 calls. That's cheap. That's like hookup culture for leads. They don't want that stuff. They want snuggle time afterwards, right? So the other one here that's really fun. So, other is simply a task, and you can customize this however you want. Follow with my lead is a standard one. This can be anything that you want. This is a complete free-for-all field that you can fill in. Only available in the My Smart Plan library is Slybroadcast. And it makes sense because it's individual, right? It's somebody's voice, right? So with Slybroadcast, when you have this connected in your system, I mean, what I do is I have my Slybroadcast app on my phone. I use that to record messages. So that way the messages there are going to sound like my voice on my actual phone as well. So there's that consistency and continuity with the voice and the recording and the sound and all that other stuff. Then I label the voice message in the app, and that immediately pulls in and is accessible by Chime. So if I want to say I have somebody that registers from Facebook, okay, I've got some Facebook ones right here. So I'm going to do a Facebook ad property alert. That's my voicemail. It pulls in from the app. This is the name, and I've got some in here where there's like these Facebook ones. I've had a smart plan that was just voicemail drops, and that's it. No calls, no emails, no anything. The bot qualifies them. They get sorted into different pipelines. Certain pipelines are going to send certain voicemail drops, and some get, depending on their situation and what they answered on the form, they're going to get all of the dynamic ad and the property alert voicemail drops. So that's a super good one as well. And these, like, we're talking about kind of covering content and how do we use these to get responses. These are really good. Like I think a lot of agents try to focus on expecting the same response from the same medium that they are sending out, right? So if you do a voicemail drop, you're expecting to call back. Most of the time, what I've found is that doesn't happen. Because when I announce myself and introduce myself, hey, this is Adam from bluecompassteam.com, I just got a notification, blah, 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 it picks up. And I say the website, one of my tricks, I say the website a little bit slower and louder than everything else. And I want that to stand. I want people I want them to listen to my message, get my website in their brain, and then go to my website. So I'm using these to direct the traffic of my database down the road of what I want them to do. I'm leading them down to the next step in the lead conversion process. So if you have that's pretty much my purpose with everything. I want to figure out how I can help them. I want to make things easier and more accurate. And I want to guide them through the process of getting from curiosity to close. My focus is on curiosity to consultation in person. I want to set appointments. And Chime is helping me do that with all these cool tricks.
I like this, dude. I like how you really gone deeper into this, because a lot of people skip this whole section on smart plans.
Yeah, I mean, it's emails and text messages. They maybe do Slybroadcast, but there's a whole bunch of fun stuff you can do with these. The other fun things, I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to talk about conditional questions, because that's one of my favorite features of Chime for smart plans. So a very key point, in order to do this AI re-engagement situation, the target lead type has to be the combination of buyer and seller, not this and this. It's got to be the combo with the ampersand. Okay. That's going to unleash these actions. You set everything for lead type on these menus here. So, okay, if it's a buyer lead, you want the AI assistant to do one of these or mute. If it's a seller lead, you want it to do these or mute. So what that can look like is, let's see, this stuff right here. So if a buyer lead returns to the website after 30 days, I want, if the AI assistant is muted currently, I want the AI assistant to wake up from her nap and continue to qualify the lead. The reason I have that is typically people that come back after 30 days when they are a buyer are very likely to not have a completely filled out profile in my database. So they perhaps didn't respond to the bot at first. Maybe they did a little bit, but missed a few things that she wants to have answered. So this is basically, okay, go talk to them again and try to get the rest of that filled out so that we can help them. That's the direction that I'm telling the bot. So this is a medium ground between letting Chime do all the scripting and agents wanting to customize the scripts themselves for the bot. Right? This is the thing where they're like, okay, well, we're not going to really let you change what's said because it's going to affect everybody, but we will allow you to control the path of conversation that the AI assistant takes with leads. Based on all of these same triggers that you see up here, you can trigger that for this. And Tristan, as well as you know me, that's why I have all of these here that I'm building and testing out. And I've got somebody that's signed up as a beta tester that's going to be running these through their system to get some more stuff. So there's going to be a complete AI assistant only smart plan web that's going to be created by me, and it's going to be fun. So the other thing I want to say and talk about is I think really probably the most underutilized conditional questions or features here is this conditional question. I love this. I do this. This creates what I call this split step in Chime.
So this is going to be like if this happens, then that happens. Okay.
Exactly. And I love this stuff. So conditional question. Let's say they have a property alert. We are going to send them an automatic text. And we're going to say something like, I've been sending you properties for a while now. Just wanted to make sure the properties you're seeing are accurate to what you want, right? Something along those lines, use your own words kind of thing. But that's really just, hey, are we sending you the right stuff, right? If they don't have a property alert, okay, we can, let's see here. If they don't have a property alert, you can send a different text. You can maybe do a manual text. There we go. You can send a different text to basically say, there's
what we need to do here, Adam. We need to have a master class just on this, dude.
Yeah. So, there's one in here. Hang on. There's one in here I want to show you because I don't know if it was grandfathered when they made changes. Let me see in here. Yeah, right here, no property alert. So I don't know why it's dropped down. So this is what I got here for mine. So if they're in any of these pipelines, hot, warm, cold, or nurture, if they have a property alert, this is my text message that automatically sends out. Hi there, checking in to see if your property alerts are good. If you need me to make some adjustments, let me know, right? If they don't have one, I change the group. So I'm adding them to my adjust alerts group. And that has a 1-day timer on it. I think one or 3 days. But it has basically a timer set to it so that anybody in this adjust alerts group that hasn't been talked with in X amount of days, that little dot in front turns red instead of green, alerting me that, hey, there's people in here you need to reach out to. So if they don't have a property alert in their system when they're in these conditions, then, which is basically like I've pretty much already gotten responses here. If they don't have it, that's a phone call. Like I'm manually doing phone calls with that. That's
Right.
where I manually step in and reach out. So these
Adam,
kind of activities are good.
is there a place we can go to dive a little deeper on this so we can get like a tutorial? Do we have a section in Chime on the learning section, or maybe follow you somewhere?
It's probably buried. My guess is it's probably buried in the help center smart plan, like conglomerate thing.
Got it.
But yeah, these are really good, right? Like, if you have, there was one here, I had one before, they might have changed because I know they took away some of these activities here now, but there was one here where I had in the past, you know, if they had a property alert, okay, we're going to send an auto text. If they don't, then we're going to put them up on a generic property alert for the city. We're going to take the median home price for single family and condo, and we're going to go 100,000 below and 100,000 above everything that's active with no offers and send that to them. So it basically forces Chime to say, well, we don't have a lot of criteria, but just send them these properties. And that I had that in the past that worked really well. So yeah, they kind of changed some offerings here with the split step. But yeah, these are really cool. And this is all the stuff that pulls in here, right? So you got leads. Sometimes people will have the email only lead thing turned on, right? So if they have a phone number in the details, you're going to send them a text. You're going to put a call. You're going to do a call task. If they don't, well, we can only email them then, right? So we're going to auto email them, and we're just going to grab whatever template, and here's my Jenny one where people use that 8675309 number to sign up. So like you can do it that way, and it's conditional and doing a split step. And you can do this on one or all. I've got smart plans in the past I've created where there's been like 15 different steps, and every single one of them has been split. Because, okay, are you a first-time home buyer? Do you have a lender? Do you have a phone number here? Have you been, there's a whole host of things, and just walk it down and split it up. Like, take some time. We're in the fourth quarter here. Take some time to work over your setup, or your smart plan setup for the new year, and think about the leads that are sitting on the fence. They have conditions that are making them sit on the fence, not taking action. You're not going to force or coerce anybody to take action, but if you help people understand better their situation, you're going to convert more leads, and you're going to have their trust a lot more by utilizing these kind of steps and these kind of smart plan activities to reach them beyond just, I'm going to send an email, I'm going to send a text message. That gets boring really quick. But let me say this as well. If that's all you want to do and that's all you're comfortable doing, that is totally fine. Chime has as simple a follow-up as you want, or you can get pretty involved.
I like that, man. All right, let's do a part where we go just diving into this, and we take a look at some of the ones you have and then build some out so people can take a look at kind of how to do this step by step. It could be like a 30-minute to an hour masterclass that we do separately, because this part is so important that's often overlooked, and we need to add this, because this makes smart plans more powerful, and we miss this whole thing.
Yep. And like using, I would say, to really create some effective campaigns, look in your activities panel and see what people are doing. When you also look at your heat map in the reporting section, and pay attention to when leads are actually on your website, and that's going to help shrink down and guide when you can time out, or what I should say, when you should think about timing out your messages to be delivered. If you don't have anybody coming to your website before 10 a.m. in the morning, don't send 7 a.m. messages. Get it a little bit close, right? Try and catch it. Like one of the most effective for me when I was using a different system for data mining, and I was targeting executives. Most executives that I was dealing with took lunch at 1 p.m. So I would auto text at like 12:55 p.m. So they're walking to their vehicle, they're leaving the office, their phone dings, my text message is right up on top, so they get to me before they get to everybody else. right? So using the heat map and figuring out who your clients are, who your leads are, and their behaviors, and Chime thinks about a lot of cool stuff like this. So we did see one question here in the chat here. Where can we insert video messages into a smart plan, and can we do it in advance? Yes, let me share again and I'll walk you through that real quick. So
perfect.
Let me just do add step. So you can do this one of two ways. You can do this in an email, you can do this in a text, essentially. That's basically the delivery vehicle. If you have BombBomb integrated, you're going to look in the auto email section here. You're going to see this little icon here, the little BombBomb. Click this here. I don't have this anymore, but when you click that button, it'll show your video library, and then you can pick the individual video. It will embed it in here, and you type your message, and super simple that way. I prefer to use Dub, so the little Dub sign comes here. And when you click that, it comes up. There's videos here, and then there's this here. You can personalize the text, insert the video here, and it will show here. Yep, super easy. And then in a text version for auto text. So in BombBomb, you don't have any icons here. So in BombBomb, you have to go in a tab to your BombBomb video library, grab the link, copy and paste in here. Dub, however, if you have it integrated like I do, you have to look over here, you can see the little Dub icon. So you click here for the auto text, it'll pull up the library, insert the video there, and then this is your standard stuff here. I always, your standard kind of message here, I always remove this, introduce myself. Ms. Adam from Blue Compass team, I shot a video for you explaining you on how whatever, blah, blah, blah. Watch it. And this, so in Dub through Chime, when it's delivered to a phone, this will show, it won't show the moving GIF. It will show a still photo of the image of this video preview here. So it'll show, in email, it will move like this with BombBomb and with Dub. In BombBomb, when you do a text, it will just have the link. If you're sending it through Chime as a text, if you're using Dub with a text through Chime like this here, a still photo of this is going to show up on their phone. So that's a little bit different stuff there. Always don't send generic stuff like this when you're sending video links, especially if they have a preview. Introduce yourself, tell them what the video is about, and keep this stuff like less than TikTok. Keep this stuff like 20 to 30 seconds max. The other way that you can do this is through an email, is you have this YouTube icon right here, and you can pull in a YouTube video and put it in here just like you would the BombBomb video. That Jenny template, let me pick this Jenny template. This is just right from YouTube. That I use that icon, I grab the official video from there, and that's that, Jenny song. This email subject is literally the first few words. That's like the opening line of that song kind of a thing. And I just have this.
Yep, I remember this. I remember when you first showed this.
So that's a YouTube video pulled in. So that's how you can put videos, a few different options. You're basically going to email it or text it. You can use BombBomb, you can use Dub. There's a little bit of different variances. I know it's probably going to get asked as a follow-up. So I'm going to answer this really quickly. I've used both. I prefer Dub. If you just want simplicity, if you want basic analytics and data, and if you primarily email and you want a little bit higher email delivery rate, go with BombBomb. If you primarily text like I do, and you want to show the image of the video in the text, and you want a little more complicated analytics, a little more complicated back-end branding and design work, then go with Dub. Okay, that's just the biggest overview I can kind of give between the differences. Try both, figure out which performs better, and ride that into the sunset. I'm use what works. I don't care. Some people prefer BombBomb. I 100% support that. Some people prefer Dub. I 100% support that. If you just want to shoot videos and throw them on YouTube and pull them in that way, high five. Do what works for you. I don't.
Love it, dude.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Get it done.
All right, Adam, we're way over, but it was really good information. Let's plan on diving deeper in on these, because I think we definitely need these as a segment on YouTube too, because I don't think any of us have really gone into it as much as you have. So I love seeing this, Adam. Adam, are you in like in the next? Do we have you in the next few weeks as well, or no? Do you know?
Nothing planned.
All right.
Nothing.
We'll add you in here, man.
I don't know how far. I'm available when you need me. So yeah, I think it would be good to have an advanced deep dive into the Zapier webhooks for actions, and also the conditional questions in those smart plans to really dive in deep with those, really advanced stuff to kind of show people really what you can do. Because I mean, it's emails and text messages are cool and all, but like you can really get into some crazy stuff when you're using the other two systems. So
I like it, dude. I like it. Well, thanks for doing this, Adam, and thanks for we kept everybody here the whole time. So that was really good.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much.
You bet. Take care, everyone.